Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Well, it's our 20th episode of our Tsu-calm-i podcast. And me and Esther were just talking about it. And I still can't believe it's our 20th podcast because it was nearly a year ago we started doing it and we had no idea about podcasting. And we're still learning, it's still a work in progress. But we thought we'd celebrate it with some nice little pearls around our screens today. With
Yay.
the beautiful filter. But you can introduce what you want to discuss today, actually.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. We thought, let's talk about what prosperity really is. Prosperity as a word means, I think, when you have enough, when you are content in your life, and even a little bit more when you are, I think it can be compared to when a flower is blooming, is flourishing. So that you have even more than enough. Then your life is prosperous. But
Mm.
what how does it look like in life, and what does it really mean to have this so-called prosperity, I wonder?
For me, when we first started talking about it, and I associated it with money, prosperity,
I
materialistic.
think you are not alone
Yeah,
with that, of course.
having
Yeah.
material things. I was very fortunate to have a privileged upbringing.
Mm.
Um, And I also found out what it was like not to be so privileged and have a
Uh-huh.
very some challenging times. But then also I found it helped me actually develop a different value for prosperity.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
the material things that I wanted when I was younger, like a nice Mercedes, or it was like more and having, I don't know, nice clothes, the nice material
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
they still are nice to me, but
Yeah.
the values changed. I don't value it in
How
so high
so?
how
How did it
important.
change?
Yeah, I don't hold it
Yeah.
as important anymore. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's your inner millions, the inner millions
Mm.
I value now. Yeah.
And how do you feel your inner millions? What does it mean to you? How you sense them, or
I just feel happier, more peaceful.
Mhm.
Um, I have a different view. I feel better about life again,
Mhm.
actually.
Mhm.
It's having that, and that feels prosperous to me. Like
Yeah.
I went to the gym this morning and then I went and walked my dog on the beach, and that's free. It's
Oh,
going on the beach is free with
I
your
think
dog. It's
what
just
you
lovely.
say is feels freedom to me, freedom of choice, what you do, and also freedom to choose to do what you love to do. And Another quote came to my mind: "You can never have enough of what you don't need," or something like that. When we focus on material things, we maybe miss a little bit of the focus, because what I really sense today in my many friends and people I know, that they seek some kind of happiness or contentment, or satisfaction in their lives. And it's true, it's really true that material things cannot give it um, fully, but it's also true that they are nice to have. So I think, for of course, for those who don't have the material basis of their life, of course this would be the first thing to create, to like a safe space for them, to begin to create other things. So the
Yeah.
financial safety is important, but what I see, that people are also searching for happiness and contentment and happy days and the feeling of freedom that you describe now
Yeah.
in their life.
It is it is a journey. And I know I value I value
And
things a lot in a different way, in a different attitude, actually. It's
I
a
think
different attitude.
when we focus on material things, then we maybe expect wrong thing the things from the wrong source. We
Yeah.
expect, to be valued by others or be
Yeah.
valued by
Yeah.
ourselves if we can, reach that far that we can afford those things to have. But maybe we try to grab that kind of attention or love or affection on another way that
Yeah.
really
I know,
works
yeah, when I was
actually.
young, it's like seeking approval. Like
Uh-huh.
it was I think it's probably an indoctrination. If someone's got a nice car, a nice house, they're
Uh-huh.
successful, they're the ones to hang around.
Mm-hmm.
But it might not
Yeah.
necessarily be they might be loaned, it might be
Yeah.
borrowed, who knows?
I
It's just an
think I
image.
think it really comes from the billboards and the TV and the social media, the advertisements that they somehow teach us, if we listen to them, that these things are important in our life because they build upon our sense of lacking, that we lack these
Mm.
things, and that we would, how would we feel if we would have these things.
So it really comes down to feeling the freedom of prosperity and then going from that view.
Yeah. And also feeling yeah, this freedom, and finding what we really need, and also get those things, like if I want to have I have now a new headphone. I really wanted this, but I didn't want the 1,000 euro headphone. I was okay with a pretty good quality headphone, but I really like the experience it gives to me. And I think it's good to go with the heart, with things that we want to buy. But sometimes what we need and what makes our life prosperous is a little time on the beach, which costs actually nothing, or a little time for a calm sleep, or
Yeah, I think it is really how you define it. It's your definition of
yeah,
prosperity, actually. And we've all got different view depending what our mental space is it, you know. I know when
yeah.
I was struggling, really struggling, my whole definition around money, it made me quite, if I'm honest, started to become quite bitter. Why has this happened to me? Why have they got that?
Uh-huh.
I started to go in, my definition changed. But once I moved through that, and that took time because I had to get into action. Otherwise, I was just sitting there, going to be run over. I was
Yeah.
sitting there running myself over with all my beliefs. I was flat on the
Yeah.
ground, just like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Right. I just had to just pick myself up. And I have
Yeah.
to say, the avatar tools help me turn around
Yeah,
360
of course.
degrees,
I think what
100%.
happened, what could happen to you was your idea of owning things, of the how the world works in a way, collapsed a little bit or was diminished. And
Collapse, yeah. Yeah.
I think the question is, do you find something underneath it when this picture collapses? Is there a deeper meaning that you can connect then? And I understand why the avatar course could be so valuable for you.
Yeah, because I decided to,
Mhm.
whatever money I had was to invest it in myself because it
Yeah.
changes in here. It has to change in here. Rather than me expecting the world to change for me, I had to change. Well,
Yeah.
that's where I was at. I was like, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
Why is the world treating me like this? Actually, when you work on your own beliefs and your
Yeah.
stuff, you can change.
Actually, what could happen to you? It wasn't it like maybe you based your identity or your life on the outside of stuff and the money, and then when we, you know, what we talked the last time, who you really are, and just be yourself, when we not who we really are, but when we base ourselves on the outside things, then it really they are really shakeable. I mean, we don't have the full control over them, and things happen like you know, yeah, so you know, the economy. I'm not an economist, I don't even
Yeah,
know the
yeah.
word
No, I
now,
know.
but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has
things
like
happen.
the domino effect.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So then it really comes out where your source of confidence coming from, or power.
Yeah, well, I have, if I
Coming
just say,
from.
with the dominoes that fell over with
Uh-huh.
with my prosperity, I
Yeah.
just learned to pick up the dominoes one by one and just step by
Uh-huh.
step pick up the dominoes and pick myself back up again, but on a different journey. And
Yeah, on
and
a different
value.
surface, let's say, a different table, not the same
Yeah,
table that you built it them before.
yeah. And I learned to value myself more, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's, prosperous, feeling prosperous.
Yeah. No, so what we talked about or told you before we started to record is I think it works. I mean, prosperity generally in our life, when we feel beforehand the idea of ourselves, and when we already believe that we are prosperous, that things that we want coming easy to us. I think it's important to have this kind of attitude. It's like, yeah, law of attraction, but what we call in Avatar course, that we know is type 4 belief, that we
Yeah.
don't base our attitude on the things that surround us, which might sound, how should I say, a little bit not irresponsible, but like a little bit idealistic. But I think it's not idealistic. It's more like forward leaning, and
Yeah.
not based on the present moment that is now, and only what this present moment presents us, the opportunities, but also what we can imagine, and we channel that imagination into the creation process that we
Yeah. Yeah.
realize in the future.
Yeah, exactly. So when I looked at it 10 years ago, I knew I made a decision. I need to get
Mhm.
better. I need to get better
Yeah.
in many different ways.
I believe you already felt better a little bit then when you decided, and then
But you
and
have to do
then
the actions. You have to take
yeah,
the steps. You
yeah,
can't make a decision and then that's it.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
sometimes things might magically appear, but I think taking the actions where
yeah,
it's very empowering to take the actions and humbling.
yeah. Yeah, and things come unexpectedly. For example, when I'm putting myself more out there, I realize that my connections are reaching, and also that's a kind of prosperity that I want. And
Mm.
I define my prosperity in my life is in a way that I am prosperous when I can do whenever I want, whatever I want, and that's not necessarily, I don't know, a Mercedes Benz, but sometimes it's a new home that we're gonna have in a few months, actually, with my husband, or a holiday, or a new swimsuit, or sometimes just some self-development, or sometimes, yeah, reaching my relationships. That's also, I count in everything in my prosperity.
Yeah, and I think if everyone could just change their viewpoint, just change their viewpoint.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be right or wrong, but just be a bit more flexible
Mhm.
with prosperity or with anything really. You learn more, right? You just learn, you
Yeah.
see something new, you see opportunities, and then the obstacles tend to be less intimidating. I think that's really
Oh, that's very nice how you put it. Yeah. Yeah.
hmm, yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that would be my advice is to dust yourself down and keep moving forward and keep taking actions in what you want and have fun. Enjoy.
Yeah,
Enjoy
yeah,
the
yeah.
process. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the same. Yeah.
Good. That was a really good discussion, actually. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, well that's rounds it up for our 20th episode. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Thank you for listening and bearing with us for this time. And we are coming back with our 21st episode.
And I hope you took something from it and maybe learned something new. I don't know, but I hope
Yeah.
it helped someone. Okay.
But for sure, we wish you prosperous days.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and then see you next time. We look forward to it.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye bye.